Cool. Into the little intro video.
Welcome back to the Max Effort Kitchen podcast. We got a great segment for you. It's called The Athlete and the Chef. So sit back, relax, and let's go.
All right, welcome to the Max Effort Kitchen podcast. I'm still getting the hang of this new little intro thing that I'm trying to make work, but hey, it's working. So I am Matt. This is Cornell. Cornell, how you doing today?
I'm good. Tired, but
yeah,
that's fine.
I like the sweater.
I'd rather be tired than just lazy.
Yeah,
tired from working. Let's just say that.
I like that. That's a really, I'd rather be tired than lazy. That's such a good thing to talk about, actually, because I was just sitting at dinner and okay, so, you and I are pretty much similar. We're not like dudes that take vacations a lot.
Yeah.
And we work hard in our careers and our families and all that stuff. So we have a lot of similarities in that aspect. But I was looking at Alana, I was like, man, I could really get used to this not working thing. It's only been 2 days, mind you. I'm on a 10-day vacation. And she goes, you would drive us absolutely insane. Like, what the hell would you do? And I'm thinking about yeah, good point. I would go crazy. And she's like, don't even think about it. And I was like, I'm not going to. So
you're like, I would drive you crazy. You're already on my nerves.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting 7-hour car ride. I'm going to say 8 hours just because I know we'll probably stop at a couple places. But this is crazy. And I don't know if you guys have taken your kids on vacations and stuff, but we've never gone anything above a 4-hour road trip. So this will be new. It'll be an experience. Hope I don't kill him.
Bring your earbuds and you can put on your own podcast.
Yeah, there you go. I like that. Yeah, yesterday I was like, listen, everybody, it's mandatory that you have headphones. And if you don't have headphones, you get no screens. So you better find your headphones and you better charge them. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I get to see you in person. I mean, I see you every week, but I get to see you in person. I get to see, I think Konar's going to be there. Brett's going to be there. There's going to be a handful. Heather, a lot of people I haven't seen, but usually talk to online. It'll be fun.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm a little nervous of, I don't normally use Turo anymore because they just jacked up all the rates for so many things, and it's like $160 and then plus fees, and then you look at the fees and it's $318. I'm like, but I'm arriving pretty late, so I've had this happen before where I've arrived, the plane got delayed or whatever, and then all of a sudden the rental place is closed, and then I can't get my car. So I was like, all right, this is not one that I want to. I don't want to miss my car, so I decided to get on Turo.
Okay.
And I have a Tesla at home, and I'm very comfortable with it. But I'm also very comfortable with where I live, and I can charge it at home, and I don't have to charge outside of places. But I was able to get a Tesla for 3 days with all the fees for $203. It was the cheapest option I could get. But I'm also like, all right, I don't know how charging is going to go. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't think I should have to charge more than maybe once, because I arrive Thursday night and I leave Sunday morning.
Yeah, and you're gonna be at the meet the whole time, right? I mean, for the most part.
I don't know how far away the Airbnb is that we're staying at. Like, there's a couple of those things.
Yeah.
But for $203, I couldn't. I was like, the next option was like a Geo Prism, and it was like $290. I'm like, I'll take the comfortable car.
Yeah, I'll take the comfortable car. Are you staying in the Strength Tank Airbnb?
I think there's a couple of people staying in different places, but I'm definitely staying in one with the coaches. But I think one
Nice.
of the coaches is going to be bouncing around a little bit.
That's cool.
So I don't.
Nice.
I'm not asking questions other than
Well,
what's the address.
I had a moment because we have a hotel and it's like maybe 10 minutes away from the venue. And I had a moment, I was like, I should look at an Airbnb to see what it looks like. And they're pretty cheap out there, I would have to say. It was about 89 to about 119 a night. And, it was everything you needed. But yeah, we figured the hotel is going to give us free breakfast and has a pool for the kids to swim in when I'm not around. So
What's the weather though? Is it indoor pool? Is it super heated?
I think it's an indoor. I'm pretty sure it is. But it's Idaho. The weather's usually pretty warm, pretty dry. I think it's supposed to be like 70s ish.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea because I
Yeah.
just heard about like Idaho winters. I know it's technically spring now, but
Yeah.
is it like 30 degrees every day or?
No, actually, Maddie's best friend is over there because she has family. And so her and Maddie have been talking, and I guess it's pretty comparable weather. A little overcast, a little warm, 70s, dry. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So
So
we
that's
were
good.
in Reno last year. It was pretty cold. So
Yes, I remember that.
It too.
Yeah. Nah, it'll be good. It'll be a fun trip. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I'm also looking forward to it being over. So that's just how I work. It's interesting, not interesting, but funny because my body's sore right now. Like I'm in that time zone, that area in weightlifting where everything hurts. Because I just went through an 8-ish week cycle and I'm having troubles getting up off the toilet, Cornell. And I actually said to my wife last night, I said, I think we need to install a handle in the toilet or like on the wall, the things you got, they put in there.
You are a level 3 master now. So.
I mean, level 3. I love that. That sounds so cooler than what it is. But it's funny when I tell people I'm going to a master's meet, and like they're like, "Oh, masters? That means you're like better, like you're pro." And I'm like, no, it just means I'm old.
Master of sport.
Yeah, master of sport. But I've been doing all the things I can to recover with, all the old man creams, all the stretching, the hot baths every day. I haven't done any cold tanks or anything. So that's probably a miss on my part. But we had a conversation about the taper versus deload. And I had a big misconception that I thought a taper was just supposed to like let your body get ready rather than it's a little different. So why don't you go and explain to how you explained to me over the week and let's see if we can build a conversation off of that.
Sure. Yeah. So backstory is you were pretty rough and it was heavy and it was hard and you were like, this isn't how a taper is supposed to be. And then I just kind of let you know, or just I think we've talked about it before, but it's not one of those things that sticks in a lot of people's brains, and maybe we haven't talked about it. But taper and deload are different things, but they're generally done kind of at the same time or back to back. So a lot of coaches and a lot of people just kind of interchange the term for it. Right. But a taper is you're going from whatever you guys were doing in the program, whether it was triples, doubles, complexes, block work, whatever it was, to you're tapering. A taper means you're going from something wide to something narrow, and you're narrowing down into competition lifts from the floor.
That makes sense.
So maybe you're doing like block doubles for 3 months or whatever, and then they're like, all right, we're going to taper. And then all that really means is we're going to start doing normal competition lifts from the floor. Like it might not be you just ditch everything else you're doing, but you're starting to taper in towards that goal. And then once you're comfortable and you're doing all the competition style lifts again, then after that, it's normally about 7 to 10 days out, depending on people and coaches, their theories and all that kind of stuff, that you'll deload. And
Yeah.
then that's where you let the body recover and you lift light weights and you're getting rid of the volume and you're getting rid of the intensity. And normally there's still some intensity there, but I think that the longer you're in the sport, the less intensity you need leading into a meet.
Yeah, I agree with that. Something you said there, that you just go from the floor, and it sparked a memory, and it did this when you said it on the polo over the week, but it sparked a memory of when I was on the strength tank team. And one of the big things that I remember Stephanie was talking to me about was like, yeah, we're going to go off the floor maybe once a week in this block. Like, that's it. Everything else is going to be blocked, hangs. It's going to be some sort of like pull plus, or even just out of the rack. So that makes sense, because then you take all that stuff, you throw it away, and you just work on everything that you're going to do in competition. And would you say it's high singles? Is it high volume in singles?
I wouldn't necessarily say it's high volume, but it's all the volume.
It's all the volume. Yeah.
So, I mean, I wouldn't. I've seen certain people and they're doing block stuff a week and a half out, and I'm like, come on, what are you doing? They're like, oh, we're trying to save their back. I'm like, just lower the weight a little bit.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
give them 25 snatches on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's got their different reasons for what they think works and what doesn't work, and at the end of the day, we're all literally just experimenting and see what works and what doesn't, and what works for one person doesn't necessarily work for someone else, and vice versa. So,
yeah, I think it's also important to take a little bit of it into your own hands and take some ownership of it. And the reason why I say that is because I would say I can't even put a percentage on it. I'm just going to throw 85% of lifters these days are remote. Their coach isn't seeing them physically. I'm on a team that is in Portland, but I'm almost 100% remote with him. So it is one of those things where your coach doesn't actually know how your body feels, and so like you got to take some of it into your own hands. And what I mean by that is, like, if you need a day off, just take a day off. Tell your coach, bro, I need to take today off. I'm going to give myself a day space in between these, or be a super recoverer. Eat a lot of food. Take a lot of time to get a lot of sleep. Take some time in between your lifts that you need. That's one thing that I've recently learned. Not learned, but just was reminded that, like, as we get closer to these bigger lifts, like Joe's like, I want you resting 2 to 3 minutes in between your 90% and above. I said, okay, that makes sense. And it also makes sense to why I was being overexerted about a week before that, where I was taking a minute or a minute and a half in between these big lifts. My body was just like, go F yourself. You're not doing, 90% and then going to 92% within a minute. Like, you can't do it at that point. And maybe some people can. I'm sure if there were some drugs out there, those would probably help. But I don't have those, and I could tell you that my lifting is the lifting of a 45-year-old that is trying to do everything he can to be able to compete and have fun and do it enjoyably. And I think that right there, that word enjoyably is what I mean by take it into your own hands, because we talk about this all the time. You got to have fun. You got to be able to do it. I can tell you wholeheartedly, I couldn't be a garage lifter and not have people like you, people like Damon, people like Josh, my wife, people at work, even though they have no idea what this is, like, they still support kind of supporting what I'm doing and give me pep talks or whatever. And it just wouldn't be able to happen. And I want to have fun. I want to do it. I want to go out there and see people and lift and free my mind of this, like, expectation.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. I was thrown off at first a little bit by your percentage, but then I thought about it more, and I think I do agree. But with an asterisk about the 85%.
Okay.
So I would say that 85% of people are not lifting in front of their coaches regularly.
Okay. That's a better way to put it.
Because they go in early. There might be certain times where it's coaching time and other times where it's not. I would say that probably half the people at the gym I'm at, they are not there during coaching hours. And even if they are, there's a good chance that the coach that is generally helping them or definitely programming them isn't there at all their sessions. So then that would definitely be much more on the, like, technically kind of your remote. Like, you have to learn to take accountability and takes your lifting into your own hands. So you have to be able to make those calls when it's time to bring it down or to go up. And so I think the more I thought about it, it was like, we're not all just, I mean, when I first started, we had classes 2 days a week, and it was like, that was all people lifted. And then they went and did CrossFit and they did other stuff the rest of the time. But like, their actual weightlifting was only during class. And then it started to progress where we wanted more programming. And then we still maintained the 2 classes a week with coaches watching. Mm-hmm. And then it was 3 more days a week where it was just everyone lifted when they lifted. But even though I was a coach and like Nick was a coach and our other guy, Sebastian, was a coach, we weren't coaching Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday. We were only coaching Tuesdays and Thursdays.
And that makes sense. You know, I can say with a full heart and sincerity that, like, the difference between having a coach sit in front of you, regardless if they say anything or not, or anything, and versus being in my garage with even a friend or my wife or whatever I do, it's night and day difference. There's a level of confidence that comes with having this person that you are, giving your trust into to help you out if need be or whatever. I mean, man, in a perfect world, you just go to a weightlifting gym, 5 days a week, 4 days a week, whatever you do. And you'd always have a coach sitting right in front of you. I'm sure, maybe with this whole AI shit that's going down, like, they'll probably find a way to do it. But, I mean, you have a hologram of a coach that's watching you sitting right in front of you. I mean, that's crazy to even think of, but, it's just this idea of, like, you got to take it into your own hands and build your support systems. You pay a coach to do what they're doing, and that's great. I think that's fantastic. But we're all adults, most of us. I mean, if you're in your 20s, you're still considered an adult, but you know how your body feels. I would say if you've been in the sport for 1 to 2 years, I would say err on the side of listening to your coach and following the program if you're working to a competition. But I love the saying of, like, if you're not at a competition or if you're not working into a competition and you're just doing program, you want to have fun one day, go heavy. Like, what's the problem? It's fine. Don't do it a lot. But, like, this sport is supposed to be fun. I'm over the rhetoric of, like, oh, it's such a deep, dark sport. Yes, it can be. I know this. I go into deep, dark pain caves. I haven't said that since CrossFit. In my goddamn garage. I get it. I go, but it's like, I also then remember, like, I have a majority of my friends because of the sport. It gives me kind of some purpose as somebody who wants to have athletics in their life. It allows me to attach my name to the sport. I think that's cool and that's fun. And I get to go to these competitions and see people that I know across the United States. Why do we got to act like it's like something that we don't like to do?
No, I like that outlook on it. I was also thinking about this the other day. It was a bunch of different little things that just kind of popped into my head. But one of the things was people who don't when someone who is a lifter who pays for a program and is part of a team, but they're not competing, but they stick to the program like it's the Bible. And
yes.
Like they won't veer from anything, but they won't compete. And I'm literally like, what's the freaking point of that?
Yeah.
Yeah. it's like studying and then skipping the test. It like going to school but never taking a test, so you're never going to see how well you actually retained your stuff. But I think that I'm in this different state of lifting now where like I'm not competing nearly as much as I used to.
Right.
So I will veer off quite more often than I used to if I was like trying to go compete. And but I've met and I know like 3 or 4 people right now that I'm specifically thinking of who they don't want to compete. And it's not because they're on drugs. It's not any of that kind of stuff. It's like they're scared to go get busted. But they're just like, no, I don't want to compete. And I'm like, hey, you should go heavier today. Oh, it's not on the program. I'm like, who cares? You're not going to compete. Just go heavier. You look really good right now. Oh, but we're gonna peak in September. I'm like, hey, you're okay.
Wow. That's funny. Sorry.
But I can't wrap my head around some of these things where it just kind of popped into my head where it's like, you're doing all the homework, you're doing all the extra credit, you're doing all this other stuff, but you're just going to skip the test.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I mean, go to school and then don't go to school, or don't go and find a career in that school. Isn't that what all anthropology majors do? Or just, sorry, that was a dumb joke. But yeah, dude, like, I just think it's so forgotten that like we are in control of what happens. You, the lifter, are in control. You know, and I'll tell you, I'm not like I'm not losing sight of the fact that like I do go down those roads and I get down like it and I'm like, you know, this sport is fucking, it's killing me. Like I want to be better and I got these expectations. And then I look at my phone and it's like, you know, 4:00 in the afternoon, I'm getting ready to lift and Brett Andrus reaches out to me. He's like, hey man, you want to lift on Zoom? I'm like, and I, you know, at the time I was like, hey, you know, let's schedule it for next week or maybe after the comp. And he was like, yeah, totally. That would be fun. I'd love to lift with you on the Zoom. But it's like, it's not even the lifting that I like about that. It's the fact that I have someone, you know, that literally lives across the United States. He's in New York. And he's like, hey, look, I want to reach out to this guy and lift with him. That's cool. You know, like that's fun. That's fun. And that's it's fun. It's cool to have relationships. It's great to have people in your life that care and that want to like do things with you. And that's what this sport brings me. Now, do I like to compete and do I like to get out there and try to, you know, win a competition or win medals? Absolutely. I'll always have the competitive nature. That's why we do this. And that's where the expectations in myself come. But let me ask you this, because I've thought about this because I know in my head, I have this expectation of like, I can't even see sky. And I don't even say sky's the limit. It's just like, it's so high. But do you have that? When you're rolling into a competition, do you feel that like, this is where I am, but this is where I need to be? Or do you have that level of expectation within yourself?
That's kind of a hard thing because I've accepted that I'm not going to be where I was even a year ago. I mean, a year ago, a year ago at this weekend or something was when I hit like the biggest snatch of my life. And I don't think I've hit, that was like 153 and I hit 150 a few months later in competition. And then basically ever since then, it's just, I'm still dealing with a lot of the overuse injuries from last May.
Yeah.
So, I know where I would like to be, but I also know that I haven't pushed so hard that it's completely taken me out of the sport.
Yeah.
And I would rather do that. I would rather have I mean, so many people, even since we podcasted last time, have come up to me at the gym like, oh, how's your meet? I'm like, it was fun. Like, how'd you do? I'm like, I had fun. And like, well, how'd you do? I'm like, I had fun. I was like,
accept my answer.
Yeah. And they're like, well, what did you hit? I'm like, I hit these numbers. They're like, oh, that's really good. I'm like, that's really not very good compared to like not that long ago, but I had fun and that's all that really mattered.
Right.
So
right.
There are certain things where like I would love to get to push again for a competition, but it's also like I just don't know. And there's a whole lot of stuff going on in life right now where I'm like I can't commit to some of those things. But at the same time, I'm almost approaching a point once we list our house, put it on the market, where I'm going to have potentially 6 months of nothing really going on. Because if I'm not even living at home, I mean, like if we move and I'm living with my in-laws and I don't have stuff to keep up the house, keep the house in functioning shape. I don't have like the amount of chores that I have, right? Not that are chores, but just like grown up things that you have to do.
Adulting.
Yeah. Then it's like, oh, I might be able to try something out again. So I'm not trying to get put the horse, whatever, the cart ahead of the horse or whatever. But it's also like, oh, let's not be dumb right now, and let's keep recovering and getting the body functioning, and then we'll just kind of see maybe what happens in the fall.
Yeah, dude, that's super exciting, and that's a good way of putting it, because life can get to you, work can get to you, family can get to you, but if you're like, hey, I got this segmented time that I can put into the sport, let's do it. And that's something I love about this sport is like, you think about it and you're almost like, I guess in my brain, I almost kind of go across this way of like, man, this is an iron barbell sport per se. I guess we're not using iron plates, but you know what I mean? And we're getting, kind of up there in age, not too old, but we're still out there competing. And if we do come across 6 months of time, we can still push and we know how to do it. And I mean, even if I was just getting in the sport and I had 6 months, like, let's do it. Let's put in a good 6 months of training to lead up to something fun and go out there and push it. With you, like, I mean, I don't know your in-laws. I know if they were my in-laws, I would be spending a lot of time at the gym. Alana, you know what I mean? But again, I don't know your in-laws, so I don't know if that's the same thing. But I mean, it seems like it's really an opportunity to have a sport in our lives like this. So why do we need to make it depressing?
So my in-laws are great. I don't have any. I mean, I've lived with them before. We lived with them for like 3 years, and
that's right. I remember that.
I'll say 95% of the time it was totally fine, no issues.
Yeah.
And probably the 5% of the time was me just being a brat or whatever, just being like, you can't tell me what to do. I'm an adult.
I'm an adult, not do what I want, but I'm living in your house.
So, like this time living there is going to be a little bit different because I mean, the last time it was a complete different world, and I was living there because we lost our house and all of those kinds of things. And now we're living there to save a little bit of money while our house is starting to be built. So instead, we're not necessarily saving money, but we're not spending money on rent and those types of things. So
that makes sense.
But yeah, the good part is like, I'll be able to kind of do whatever I want. I mean, I'll have actually a lot more free time to be doing stuff. And the good part is I know for me, if I have 12 weeks, I can probably total over 310 in 12 weeks if I'm healthy. So for 6 months, that means that I've got another 3 or 4 months to try to get the body running on as many cylinders are left. And then 3 months before the meet, like in my brain, I haven't really even talked about this with anybody yet.
Right.
So this is live thoughts coming out.
It's our secret. Nobody else knows.
No, but I've always wanted to do like the Freedom Finals. That's like one of the meets right before American Open Finals.
Yeah.
And it's in Florida, and it's at one of my favorite gyms, and I've never been able to do it yet. And I've tried a couple of times. So I'm like, that'd be a great little meet to. It's not actually, it's getting pretty big, but that would be a great meet to like push for, and then still have that kind of national vibe of going across the country.
Yeah.
And yeah, so who knows? We'll see what happens.
Well, that's cool. I mean, I like, just like we were just talking about, I went into last fall saying I'm not going to compete for the rest of the year, walked into this year being like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do this. And then got the itch, obviously trained. Now I'm doing it, but also like for me, I want to be able to work. Like I'm not too concerned about what I hit at this meet. Mm-hmm. Like if I go out there and I have a subpar total, it's not a big deal to me, because the real goal in this year is to make it to Worlds, which this will qualify me for it. No problem. Is to make it to Worlds in Vegas. That's a goal. I saw you work towards it. I saw Donald work towards it. I saw a couple other friends work towards it. And I was super bummed that I didn't go last time. And I wasn't in the right life position to be able to do that. Wasn't in the right, the career was a little bit weird at that time, and I was still working through some things. But this, now that it's here, I really want to push towards it. And so like there was a hot second where I was getting all uppity about this competition. And then I just told myself, listen, you have 3 different levels here. You can go out there, you can qualify for the meet that you really want to do, which is Worlds. You can go out there, you can qualify, and you can maybe, get a place somewhere or something. Or you look over here and you can qualify and just go have sorry, I'm going to drop the F-bomb. Just go have fun. Yeah. And guess what will happen if you go out there and have fun is you'll accomplish your dang goals. You'll do them all. Exactly. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take that third option, because that's the best of every world. And I'm just really excited. I told Damon this, and I told him this the other day when he came over. I want to tell you, extend this to you too, but and anybody out there that's listening, if you have a camp, I want to go to a weightlifting camp or do something weightlifting this summer, if it's a competition or whatever. I want to go do something like that. I want to travel. I want to go hang out with people and get out there and lift with other people and have fun. Because again, like we talked about last time, that's what this sport is about.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. I think that going into a meet with just the expectation of like, there are certain meets that if you know that you're in the me going to Worlds 2022, I went to win. Like it was win or bomb out. It was I wasn't going there just to have fun. But I think it was 2000. I want to say 18 Masters Nationals in Salt Lake City. Like I went there with the expectation of winning.
Yeah.
But I didn't necessarily put in the work like I did for Worlds. I didn't sacrifice the time and like literally do every single thing that I could do to get there.
Right.
And then I got second place. And I've heard this multiple times that nothing motivates someone more than getting second place.
Yeah.
Because like I went in there and I was like, oh yeah, I'm on fire right now. I hadn't missed a snatch in like 2 or 3 months, like other than just PR attempts. Like the only thing I had missed were PR attempts. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna hit these in the snatches, and I'm gonna hit this in the clean and jerk. And then I made 1 snatch. And I was like, what happened? And then the guy that I was going up against, he was not a snatch specialist like I was. And then he was able to destroy me on the clean and jerk.
Yeah. So, well, going into Worlds, I think it'll be a lot, and I know it'll be a lot different for me. It won't be, I have 3 choices. It's like 1 choice and that's it. Just go out there and lift as much weight as I possibly can. Here's the thing, Cornell, and maybe this is me thinking too highly of myself. I don't know. But I think I have a lot of potential still left in this sport to lift more weight. I think I have at least 10 kilos on my clean and jerk. I think I have at least 10 to 15 kilos on my snatch. And that's the mindset I have. And so working into worlds, I want to go and I want to try to reach those potentials. I want to try to push towards those. Now, am I saying I'm going to do a 15 kilo PR in my snatch by September? No. But I sure as hell I'm going to push towards it.
Yeah.
But realistically, I know that's not going to happen.
If you're pushing for that 15, you might hit 10.
Exactly.
If you're just saying, let's see what we can do, then you might get 2.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that here I, you're the person that I know that I have in my weight class, Mr. Jared Kuhn.
Mm-hmm.
That guy is his total is probably 40 to 50 kilos away from mine. Okay. We are the same weight class and we are the same age. I will never take first because that dude is just, I mean, he's a great guy, but he is a freak on the platform and he lifts a lot of weight. I understand that. So it's like understanding what I'm going there for. And what I'm going there for is not to peak, but to push as hard as I possibly can to accomplish getting to, I guess, a place in this sport that I know I have the potential of being.
Yeah, no, I think that sounds awesome. The other thing that I would not shy too far away from is what weight class is that going to be?
It's probably, I don't know. I'm going to say I've been living about 99 kilos the past month. Yeah. And I've been lifting all right. So who knows? Maybe it'll be the 98 kilo class.
So he's probably not going to be a 98.
Boom. There it is. Yeah.
Knowing what I know about him and how hard he makes cuts to make 102.
Yeah.
I don't think he wants to make 98. I mean, I'll ask him.
No, I mean, I'm sure we'll see him this weekend. So
I don't know. Is he going this one or is he going to the Georgia one?
Oh, I don't know. No, his name's on the list. Okay. I saw him. Yeah, cool. He's there.
Yeah, nice.
The Georgia one, that's the USAW, right?
Yeah, that's the B squad.
The B squad. That's the one. Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to that one. So, yeah, dude. I mean, you got a point. I could play with the weight class. Like,
yeah. I mean, I've done that with him. Like, I think that I did have that conversation of what weight class you. When we were at Howard Cohen, I said, "What are you going to be at Worlds?"
Yeah,
and he said, "I'm going to be a 102." I'm like, "All right, I'll make sure I'm a 109."
Yeah, dude, I like him. He has interesting ideas around food, and that's what I dig about him. But a really nice guy, great lifter. It's just that I've kind of been in his shadows the entire time. I mean, amongst some other people, there's some other good, really good lifters in the 102 weight class of the Masters, but like ultimately, I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna have fun this time, and then I'm gonna make a real big push towards Worlds. And barring any injury, I think I have all the potential to accomplish my goals.
Nice. I think that'll be great.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Okay. Well. 38 minutes. I think we did pretty good given our what we walked into this show on. Cornell, I'm super excited. Okay, and I'll go into this because there's nobody more excited than Maddie to see you. So she comes up to me, Dad, okay, listen, here, when we get there, let's get a hold of Cornell, and you, me, Cornell, and Konar, we should all go out to dinner after the meet. And I'm like, Maddie, chill, bro. Just chill. We got this. Don't even worry about it. So my kids are super excited to see you. It'll be a good time, and I look forward to it.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm glad they're all coming. I think it's going to be a great trip.
Yeah.
It's funny because I knew you had this week off work, but I didn't piece together that this was the same week that you were going to Idaho. And then it just kind of clicked the other day. I'm like, oh yeah. Oh,
That's
That's
why.
convenient.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yeah, maybe we'll talk about it on the show next time we're on. We will not be on next week, but about the idea, because I struggle with this idea, is using and we've talked about it actually, is like using our spring break to go to a weightlifting competition, but we have built things around it, so maybe we don't need to talk about it. It'll be a fun family trip. We'll have a good time. So
Yeah, no, I think it'll be real good.
All
And
right,
it's
buddy.
not 30 degrees, so that's
And
even
it's
better.
yeah, that'll be even better. And it's been raining real hard here lately, so it'll be nice to get out of this area. Great to see you. I'm looking forward to it, dude. You got anything else?
I don't think so.
All right. Hope you have a great night, everybody. Thank you for listening. Adios.
Bye.